all of this.
What was the first song you learnt to play on guitar?
The first song I learned to play guitar was Knocking on Heaven's Door, and embarrassingly enough, when I was, I guess I must have been 11 or so, I thought it was by Guns N' Roses, because that's how I knew the song, and it was only in later life I discovered it was a Bob Dylan song, and then I felt like a tit.
Who that you listened to growing up provided your biggest influence?
That's an interesting question, to which I don't have one single answer. I mean, I can give you a couple, if that's alright. Counting Crows are a really big influence on me. The first Counting Crows record was how I learned to play the guitar, pretty much. I played along to that because it's all open chords on that record. So, and they remain one of my favourite bands. And then, I mean, Nirvana were obviously a big deal for me. You know, and then in later life, kind of Townes Van Zandt, Johnny Cash, Weekend Hands, Josh Rouse. The other one, I guess, I recently flew to America to go and see a band called Mineral, reuniting, which was incredible. They hadn't played for 17 years. I'd never seen them live before, and I was watching them. They're the only band that I would fly to New York to go and see. Do you know what I mean? And I was watching them, and it suddenly occurred to me while I was there that they are a gigantic influence on everything I do still to this day. And I'd sort of forgotten almost. Do you know what I mean?
It was kind of like underlying.
Yeah, and like my friend Erin, who'd never heard Mineral before, was with me at the shows, and she was like, "Yeah, these guys are a big influence on you." And I was like, "Yeah, they kind of are."
Like a subconscious thing.
Yeah, I guess they just got into my bloodstream a long time ago. I adore that band. I fucking adore them.
What were the last 3 albums you bought and loved?
The last 3 albums I bought and loved. I now can't remember the name of the bloody album. The most recent Every Time I Die record, which is a monster. From Parts Unknown, that's what it's called. Great album, really, really great, aggressive, abrasive hardcore, which is something that I like a lot. Before that, what have I bought and loved? Will Varley, a singer-songwriter from Kent, who I'm sort of friends with, but I make a point of buying my friends' music because I can afford it, so damn it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, people always give me music and I'm like, I'm the one who can afford it. Do you know what I mean? It's like let me buy it, like, fuck. But yeah, so Will Advert Soundtracks was his most, I think that's the name of his most recent one. Anyway, that's a solid gold masterpiece from top to bottom, utterly unimprovable record to my mind. And then, well, this is kind of slightly cheating because I did that thing, I don't know if you ever do this, I went to iTunes to look for something the other day and didn't have the album and was like, what? How can I possibly not have this album? Which is the first Wild Hearts record, Earth vs. the Wild Hearts. And I was like, oh yeah, I really want to listen to like News of the World, and it wasn't on there, and I was like, what? So I went and bought that, and it's one of my favourite punk records. So.
If you weren't playing music, what would you be doing?
Trying to play music. No, that's the second question. I don't know. I mean, I think like, I was an academic kid. Like I went to university and got me a first class degree and stuff like that. And I guess I'd probably do something along those lines. I like the idea of kind of teaching A-level history or something like that. I mean, the thing is, I always want to be careful when I say that because I don't want to just go, oh yeah, I'll be a teacher, as if it's like a fucking cakewalk to be a teacher, which it isn't. You know, I know it's a hard thing to do, so I'd be maybe trying to give that a go. To
be an A-level history teacher, though, you do have to be very theatrical, because I've got one that shouts all the time at our school. Yeah, well, my A-level history teacher really actually kind of changed my life to a fair degree, actually. I remember he used to walk around on the desks and shout at people and ask us kind of dramatic questions, and he looked like an eagle. It was weird. Anyway. So. What made you realise that you wanted to be a musician? You know, it's a funny thing. I don't know. I wasn't really particularly interested in music per se for the first 10 years of my life. Then I discovered, I mean obviously there was music around, my sister listened to various bands and stuff like that, but Iron Maiden was my gateway band, and I discovered Iron Maiden and just thought they were the fucking greatest thing ever. And you know, it never occurred to me that music could be like that, rather than just something in the background of TV shows and stuff. And fell in love with it, but it's like, I guess I've got a kind of participatory personality in the sense that like, I didn't then have to make a decision to want to be a musician or anything. I just kind of, it was obvious. I love this, cool, right, now I need a guitar and I need to learn how to play it. and do you know what I mean? At no point
You fell into it because you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I never had to sort of make a conscious decision about it. It was just obvious that this is the thing that I love more than anything else in the world. Sweet, Mum and Dad, can I have a guitar from Argos for Christmas, please?
How is playing download compared to your normal shows?
It was alright, yeah, it was fun. I mean, I didn't feel that it was enormously different from other festival appearances, to be honest with you. The world's kind of full of people. I'm quite defensive of metal as a genre and as a community, but it was my first love.
What you love.
Yeah, and people do metalheads down often, and I actually, lots and lots of my friends are hardcore metalheads, and are generally quite intelligent, nice, kind, friendly people. Do you know what I mean? Who... And you know, lots of people wanted me to be nervous about playing download and Science Favorite festivals like that, and I'm just like, you know what, it's going to be fine, and it was.
What will 2015 mean for you?
Fuck knows. Well, I'm going to have a new record out next year. We haven't made it yet, but that's what we're doing after this tour. But I mean, it's a bit like the question, you know, if you go back and give yourself some advice when you were 15 or whatever, I wouldn't, because it's the finding out is the interesting part. So I have no idea what I'm going to be doing in 2015.
It's a really good video that someone's done to my 16-year-old self, and she says how she wouldn't change anything and stuff.
Right, because the learning process is what makes you human, I think. Do you know what I mean?
How would you describe your new album in one word?
As in the one that I'm about to make, or the one that I've just done?
Yeah.
The one that I've just done, yeah. In one word, fuck, that's a hard question.
It's fuck the way to describe it.
I would describe it as dark, I suppose. It's a funny thing for me, that album. I can never be fully objective about the music I make, obviously, because it's the music that I make, but I can get a little bit of hindsight and stuff. And looking back on Take That Heart now, with the benefit, it's about 2 years since we made that record. It's a lot kind of darker and more intense and kind of heavier and weirder than I
really
thought it was. Yeah, and everybody told me that when we were making it, and I was like, I'm not sure I got it at the time because I was right in the middle of it. But there's moments on that record, and I'm not in any way doing it down, just owning it, but there's moments on it where I'm like, fuck, did I really sing that on an album that's going to kind of be released to lots of people? Weird. I mean, I'm glad I did, because I think there's good.
It's a great album.
There. Well, thank you. But yeah, it's kind of like, I think it's quite kind of intense, that album.
What has been the highlight of your career so far?
This will possibly sound like a dodge of the question, but I promise you it's not. My highlight is that I do what I do for a living. When I was a kid, I told everyone I was going to be a touring musician, and everybody, without exception, laughed at me and told me I was an idiot and that it was a pipe dream and that I'd grow out of it and all that sort of bullshit. And they're all fucking wrong.
Did you slap them in the face? Was that?
No, I didn't slap them in the face, but it gave me kind of hunger to succeed with it. And like, I pay my bills and through playing guitar, and I get to travel around the world, and I full-time employ 20 people, and I've created a thing. And I did it off my own bat, actually.
And you do what you love.
Yeah, right, and I do what I love, and I don't ever have to put on a suit and go to an office. And I'm fucking proud of that, actually. And I wake up every day and I'm grateful for it, because I know it's a rare thing. And obviously I've been helped by a lot of people, and there's been a lot of luck involved and all that sort of bollocks as well. But like, I set out to do something, and it's still going quite well. I mean, I'm 32, who knows how long this will go on for, but hopefully a long time.
It's really odd, because I always played you growing up. Like, my mum always used to have you on when we were in the kitchen and stuff.
Awesome. You should give your mum a high five from me.
I will. Thank you. You can stop recording now.
That's it, we can do that.